People in this country will have to be using VPNs to keep up to date with the news. Just let that sink in. And I'm 100% serious when I said, if this gets worse, I'm out.
Dylan Page, also known as one of the big content creator on TikTok and on IG. He has about 2.2 followers on IG. So he's a big guy. So this is what he had to say about recent events. Fair use.
Guys, we seriously need to talk about what's happening in the UK right now, because if this gets worse, I will be leaving this country. You see, today I woke up to a notification that one of my videos had been restricted because it violates local law. And let me really emphasize this. TikTok themselves don't have a problem with this video. In fact, it can still be watched by everyone else outside of the UK. Bro, and when your local law is more strict than the infamously sensitive TikTok guidelines, you know that something is cooked. Now, it was removed under the UK's new Online Safety Act, which I'm sure you guys have heard of by now. It's supposed to protect children from harmful content online, but we're less than 2 weeks in, and it's already taking down literal news reports. The news and flow of information has to be a protected space in every country. And by taking down my videos so that under 18s don't see them, that means everyone in the country over the age of 18 don't see it either. And again, I'll reiterate, this video wasn't even sensitive enough for TikTok to have a problem with it. This has to be called out now and as early as possible, because it starts with one video on TikTok, but before you know it, people in this country will have to be using VPNs to keep up to date with the news. Just let that sink in. And I'm 100% serious when I said, if this gets worse, I'm out.
Crazy. We've seen this, a lot of things, weird things happening in the UK lately. So let's talk about it. RJ.
KaiR.
Yes.
Do we live in a, do we, I have my opinions on this, but do you think that there's a deliberate movement to censor people, or do you think that it's collateral damage for a greater good, to achieve a greater good?
What's the difference between the two things?
So the one would be more targeted, right? So the one would be targeted in the sense that you're
the same, right?
Well, it's not the same.
Both can fall into the same, because if you censor someone for the greater good,
it depends on who is shooting. If it's a drive-by, then it's the same. But usually, and I'm saying
you can censor someone for the greater good as well. You can target people for the greater good.
Okay, so again,
but I know what you're trying to say.
Is it targeted? So they're saying greater good. Is it targeted for the greater good? Is it targeted for personal interest? That's the second option, which is not necessarily a greater good.
Mm-hmm.
Or is it targeted to achieve a greater good, and this is just collateral damage?
I think it could be all three. Well, you're talking about this situation with Page.
Specifically.
I think specifically this is like the greater good stuff. But the problem is the greater good always will be, and this is the problem with greater good thought, is that people tend to implement laws that preach for the greater good, but in general, these greater good laws will be misused in the future. That's how it happens in all these countries. In all these, let's call it the old, what we call anti-democratic countries. That's how it starts. They start limit certain access because it will harm. You know what North Korea says about foreign media? They say they block it because it can harm the mental health of their own people.
There is some
That's-
truth to that.
Yeah, the truth sometimes hurts. You know what? Sometimes the truth hurts. But hey, and you see that I see that there is a clear trend if you look at what is happening in the UK, well, in Europe in general, and whether people did agree or disagree with the Trump government, the Trump team criticizing other countries for their censorship, he might have a point in that sense, that certain countries are developing real, what's say, interesting, real weird tendencies. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
Weird. I'm not saying that it's anything totally to censorship, but there's a couple of rules that can be misinterpreted and misused in the future. Now we all know people were making a lot of videos around the time 5 years ago when people were trying to sell people certain things to inject themselves with. People were getting shut down and all that stuff. So that can also be shut down in the future with all these laws. This is a new law, by the way, quite recent law. And how they're using it is, you're harming kids, so we cannot show it. But the problem is, if you cannot show it to the kids, then you're probably gonna block it for the older people as well, so no one can see it. Which is wild. But instead of trying to say, hey, the kids shouldn't be on the platform, now you're trying to still sell the kids the platform, but then you're trying to stop other people to get the message. I think I know. I went back and looked at his timeline. I think I know which video it is that was blocked there. I think I know. I'm not gonna say it here, but I think I know.
Okay.
Anyway.
I think they're seeing greater good, but I also think that it has what is considered greater good shifts. What's considered greater good shifts. And if you ask, for example, a Democrat versus a Republican, what's the greater good, you'll get different answers. But I do think that they both believe that they're doing the greater good. To one person, greater good. To one person, the greater good. To one person, greater good might be to give people the freedom of expression. But then if you really ask around, they'll tell you, well, freedom of expression, for example, for certain group, but not other groups. Because when other groups express their thoughts, then they're considered, they're called out, they're made out to be all sorts of things.
Yes.
What I can tell you is this, though, as an attorney, not practicing in the US nor UK, but in general, the laws have a very difficult time keeping up with the developments, because the developments are just way too fast for this.
What you're saying is they are slow. The lawmakers are slow.
Well, they've always been so into hell, man. You're going to hell, I'm telling you. I'm gonna put a word in for you so you can go there as fast as possible. I'm telling you. You shouldn't even. No, man, you're going to hell.
Talking about the lawmakers. I'm not talking about the regular people.
I'm talking about hell. I'm talking about the. No, man, that's it.
Continue.
It's very difficult to. But they've always been slow. But now because of development, come on, KaiR.
Continue. Sorry, my bad.
Because the developments are going by very fast. It's very difficult and very hard to keep up with. It was just very hard to keep up with.
RJ, you know, for that what I just did, I could get police at my door in Germany.
I'm assuming you're gonna cut it out. You're gonna cut it out, KaiR. You're gonna cut this out.
Why?
I'm gonna call Interpol after this. I'll call.
Oh
So-
man, you're
Someone
adding additional work. Anyway, okay. I guess I'll have to cut it out, guys. You won't see it. You won't see it, guys.
Yeah, I'm serious, man. Let's just.
Okay, I'll cut it out. Anyway, but I'm only gonna cut that part out. They're gonna see
that
the
part. That part,
afterwards
that part.
reaction. I'm gonna post it on IG so everyone can
on your IG, your personal IG.
on the double thought IG. Anyway, guys. No, but all jokes aside, though, this is it's crazy, and it's a development that we've been seeing that's quite alarming in these countries where we preach. In general, we preach the freedom of expression and the freedom of thought. Where, like you said, some it seems like only one type of freedom of thought is allowed, and the other one is censored a lot. And it doesn't matter which side it is because it happens on both sides. So it's quite interesting how it's going to develop further. I think we are definitely in a troublesome situation right now, whereas certain countries are choosing a really interesting way to deal with future challenges.